Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Art Whisper 88. Now today I feel a little adventurous. I'm not going to be using any kind of stencil or collage because, to be honest with you, sometimes they tend to be a crutch. You feel like you cannot create artwork without them, when in fact you can. And I want to show you that you can be brave and free and do some artwork without any kind of contraption to help you. Now, I'm going to base my composition on American artist Franz Kline, who was a big influential painter during the 1950s. And his work was characterized by these bold brushstrokes. Now I'm going to make a rough plan. Something like that. It's like an inverted triangle. So since this is such a large Gelli plate, this is 18 by 24, I like to have some kind of plan or scaffold to work with. So here is my Mars Black acrylic, and before filming I gave this a very good shake because I want to make sure that there are no coagulated dried stuff in there. So I'm going to place some and I am going to use my color shaper. This is a silicone spatula, and you can find this on Amazon or any art supply store. They come with different names and it can be confusing, but what this is a silicone rubber spatula. Okay, this is 3 inches. Now there are smaller sizes like this one and this one. Okay, but for this purpose, in terms of scale, I'm going to use the biggest one. So here goes. And what I like about this spatula is it creates different values. Okay. Now I'm going to use some Q-tips to create some texture. Now a Q-tip is very effective in creating a white space. So I'll do some scribbles. You have to be a little brave when you do this. Don't be half-hearted with your strokes. You have to be very decisive and have fun with it. Because if you hesitate when you're doing scribbles, it will show. It will show as a weak, indecisive line. And I find those indecisive lines very annoying. I'm annoyed by them. It means that you weren't putting your 100% into it. Okay, so now that I have my first layer, I'm going to let this air dry partially and move on to the next step. Okay, it's been about 5 to 6 minutes under the ceiling fan. Now I have here Amsterdam acrylic. This is Naphthol red. This is like a reddish orange color. I'm going to use it as a highlight. There isn't much left in the tube, so I'm squeezing really hard. I may have to cut this open later. Okay, and then the pickup color will be, this is raw sienna. Let me give this a good shake. Now, especially with acrylic paints, it contains a lot of binders or extenders, and they tend to separate sometimes when the paint sits on a shelf for a long time. So it's always good to give your acrylic paints a good shake just to be on the safe side. Okay, I'm going to give a good there we go. So I'm going to use, let's see, I'm going to spread the red orange first. And then use my 3-inch roller for the raw sienna. Now there will be a little bit of smearing, but I'm doing that on purpose. So I'm alternating vertical and horizontal strokes, and I'm not putting too much pressure on the brayer. I'm just letting it glide across the plate, just allowing the paint to create a very thin, even layer on the face of the plate. So it's really sitting on the surface of the plate like a film. Okay, so now I will just wipe the edges just to make sure it doesn't blot. Sometimes when there's too much paint on the edge, you get a blotchy edge. And this is just to make it neater. Okay. As usual, I'm using my Richardson watercolor paper. This is cold press. £135, 22 by 30. So I'm applying a nice firm pressure with my hand to make sure the plate and the paper have good contact. And that is essential for a successful transfer. Okay. Okay, it's been about 6 minutes. Let's see how we made out here. This is really exciting. I think we have a good transfer. We just have to peel this off very carefully. There's a little bit of tearing here, but I can fix that. I just have to be very patient. I think the texture is outstanding. Now, what this means is it's about time that I should oil my plate after this, just to keep it in good condition, so it is not so aggressive when it comes to pulling the paper off. But I must say the result is very dramatic and very striking. Check this out, very cool. It's very dramatic and very bold and expressive. So let me air dry this and then I will do a recap and show you extreme close-ups. Okay, now I know I've done this many times, but I cannot stress how important this is. So I'm going to show you again how I oil my plate. It's really annoying when the plate is way too sticky and it refuses to give up the paper without putting up a fight. And it's time consuming and frustrating. So I think it's high time to oil the plate just to keep it in top condition. Now, if you have a brand new Gelli plate, I don't think it's necessary to do this. I'm doing this because my plates are old, relatively. I've been using them for close to 2 years, non-stop. And continuous use and washing takes its toll. So think of it as a spa treatment for your gel plate. All right, so now this has a heavy coat of oil on it. You can see the shiny oil slick. I'm going to let this sit for about half an hour and allow it to get absorbed into the plate. And I will be right back, so don't go away. Okay, now that I showed you the oiling, I'm confident that this will not cause tears on the paper. So in keeping with my can't leave well enough alone attitude, I have here some metallic bronze. And I thought for a while that that print was a standalone. I find it too dark, and I want to liven it up with some metallic paint. So I'm going to do a circle here. And I will see how this works out. Okay. Now this time, since it's final layer. I'm not trying to pick up multiple layers. I don't need to leave this on too long. I think that did the trick. Wow, pretty flashy. Now let me put the piece of acetate on the bottom so I don't mess up the back of this print. Okay. That really livens it up and gives it a little bit of an Asian flavor. It resembles the lacquer work in Japanese and Chinese art with the use of gold. Actually, I will do a close-up now. So I think the metallic paint picks up the darkness. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun doing this. It's a little scary sometimes when things don't go the way I want to, but it's a learning experience like with everything else. And thank you once more for watching and subscribing, and I hope to see you next time.